Good morning, everyone. Today we are hacking a microscope. Well, I don't actually know what we're doing in the microscope. Here it is, and it's been okay, but it's a pretty stock basic one. I wouldn't say cheap, but definitely not like, a branded top of the line kind of thing. It's got an onboard camera that can output to that small screen back there, and I can also feed it into the laptop. So technically I can do like mixed recordings. Do I have space to plug that in? Yeah, maybe I'll show you. Oh no, actually I don't have space to plug it in. That's a shame. It's an HDMI to USB video card thing I've got. But I can show you it like this. So you see that down there? Way. So it can output to the screen, but there are a couple of issues with it. So first of all, I've got like a microscope slide sitting on the bed here. And what you could notice is that as I roll one of these gears back and forth, it's kind of moving it in a diagonal direction instead of going up and down, which I always thought was a bit weird. Also, the quality on the microscope is good, but only up to a certain point, especially when using the 100 times objective lens. If I'm looking for like cells or microbes of a very small size or even just bacteria, I can't really. And I'm also missing a proper immersion oil, so I use an analog for immersion oil being just hyaluronic acid drops since I have them available. So there's lots of improvements I can make in that regard. So what I wanted to do was figure out how to fix the angle and how to replace the camera, and I didn't think there was a way to get in. I thought they'd built it in a weird way where they didn't really let you get in to modify components until I figured out. So this top bit spins, but if you get creative with the top of the top bit, there we go, that can pop off. And then in here, see that little circuit? That's the camera. So let me just angle things like this. You can see the circuit and you can see the screen there. And now if I give that a slight rotation, you can see I can actually correct the angular calibration, if you like, of the microscope. So for some reason, this base bit is loose and this cable tugging rotated the camera. So that's why it was off axis. But importantly, actually figuring this out means that I can now access the camera and potentially remove it and put it back if I don't like any changes I'm making. But also, that should expose the tube, which would allow me to substitute the camera for something high quality. Now, there are specified microscope cameras available online from certain retailers, but I think, and of course I won't know until I can actually look at the tube, that I might be able to use a regular camera to do instead. And I think I've got a friend that's done that as well. So what that does is it opens the possibility for some creative hardware hacking for modding a microscope in my own way. I'm going to see if I can set something up for you. All right, there we go. I've got you on an extra tripod now. So this top bit spins because this is loose. And if we look inside here, we can see the actual camera circuit board won't move by itself, but that's because there is a tiny screw on this end here. It may also be stuck down with something, and I'm looking for like glue residue, but I don't think I can see any, maybe around the border. But I also don't want to sever any of this cabling because I want to be able to take the board out, have a look in, and then replace the board so I can get it back to a functional state, because I don't want to ruin, my only microscope that I have available. What that means is now I need to find something small enough to undo that screw. All right, so I have some of these spare tools from my dad, basically screwdrivers of various sizes, but like miniature ones. So the smallest possible one, let's take a little look. That's a little bit too small, actually. Try the next one up. Oh, that seems like a perfect size. Okay, come on. Yes. We have some movement. Okay, I feel like I might need to put the microphone down. Hang on. I don't want to accidentally drop the screw down a hole, especially in the microscope. So we have that there. Gonna put it down right there. Remember where that is for me. So trying to get movement on the board does not work, which to me means that it has likely been glued down. Now I do wonder whether this top cap can come out at all, but the problem is to unscrew that properly I'd need to raise a cable behind here above, but it's too short and it's going kind of hardwired into the base. So the cable would have to be severed to allow that to spin. This is probably why they've designed it this way, to stop people from doing that. So my best bet would be to find a way to remove the glue and effectively detach the board from the top here, which I don't think I'll be able to do on camera, at least not easily, if there even is a way to do that from this angle. Unless, oh no, that could be awful. Do you think that would kill it? What if I sever the inner parts of the boards here, like these connecting parts? Because I'm assuming most of the glue would be, or from looking at the flex on the side of the board, it seems like most of the glue, oh, there might be some there, would be on the corners. So if I could break the board at certain parts here, then maybe the inner section would detach upwards. It seems like I'm kind of putting the whole thing at risk, though, by doing this. This is tricky. This is a problem because I really want to see in. Let me try scratching away one of these side bits. So I believe, I mean, that looks metallic past the green coating. And I need to be careful because if I do scratch away, then I may be dropping dust and debris parts down into the tube, which would ruin the vision. So really it's starting to look like I might have to sever the cable, which I really don't want to do. It's a shame they didn't make it longer. But again, that is probably to stop people from doing exactly this. All right, let's take 5 for a sec. So I'm probably not going to be able to break into that without, you know, it affecting my conscience and ruining the potential of the microscope as it is already, because it's still useful and I would probably need to use it. So what I may need to do is buy another one or buy a higher quality stock one and then tear this one apart, sever the cable, and then retrofit the tube into something high quality. But that'll be an investment of money, so maybe I won't do that right now. But it's a bit of a shame. I don't like it when they don't make things easy to mod, although I get why, because no one likes to have their technology or their product ripped apart. I've just had some deliveries as well. So what are these? Well, first of all, when it comes to doing things like physical art and merchandise, I was trying to think of other more cost-effective ways of sending physical artwork, like up to a size of A4 paper, to people around the world that doesn't require buying a frame, because frames can get a bit expensive, you know, and making things can get a bit expensive. So I also wanted a way to keep it protected from water and in an organized way as well, something where it won't bend too easily. And what I thought of were folders, you know, clear folders that you could put the artwork in like a plastic sheet, then into the folder and then support it with 2 pieces of card on either side. And then having a folder shape would also allow for, you know, if I threw any writing or letters or stickers or anything like that in there as well. So I thought maybe I'll give that a try. So I've got some clear plastic folders. So just this kind, nothing too fancy, but it would do the job. And it was pretty cheap for a pack of, I think, 20 of them. So yeah, that's good enough to serve a purpose. Additionally, on the physical art side of things, I've got more acrylic sheets. So these are undrilled. I will then drill them to turn them into acrylic frames. But perhaps more excitingly, I wanted a place to organize all my different accounts. Maybe not necessarily with passwords, although I'll probably put passwords in it. But it's hard keeping track of maybe the purpose of all the different accounts and, you know, policies, something to help me keep track and get access to them, and emergency things and backup things. There's a lot of talk about what's the safest way to store your passwords. There's also password managers, lots of softwares for managing different accounts and email addresses. So I wanted to get a notebook that I could use specifically for that for me would stand out, so I would know, okay, this is the master book, and I'll keep it somewhere safe. And I know it's probably a problem showing it off in case anyone breaks in who's watched the video, but I still think this is more secure than storing stuff on the computer. I got a Starfield themed one. Yay, they were still in stock. Really cool. So it's got a kind of topographical style to it as well, like a kind of embossed leather surface style, or faux leather. It's got one of the taglines from Starfield: "The wonder is not that the field of stars is so vast, but that man has measured it." And it's just lined paper inside with the logo in the corner, because I actually quite like Starfield and I like the art style and iconography of it. So I figured this would be a nice kind of like master notebook that will stand out to me, that I can use to kind of guide me around my different avenues of work. Like, hey Curtis, if you do this kind of work, this is the account you put it on. Here's some guides for that. Here we are. Very nice. I mean, I love the style of it. I love how 3-dimensional it is. It's got the Starfield artwork in the front page, but look, it's just a proper lined notebook and nicely styled with the logo in there. So I just wanted something that would stand out, and rather than do something random, I figure a game that I like, and a game that actually taught me something about organization as well, and condensing stuff into a small space. If you don't know, you can design your own spaceships in this game, and it's a bit of a diversion from other games in the way that, yes, you have like this master cargo storage for your ship, but when you build things in your ship and you actually put down cases and boxes, they have their own storage capabilities. So it becomes this trade-off of, do you want to waste the ship's storage, or do you want to put things in boxes? And when you actually put things in boxes in a 3D RPG game like that, you start thinking about space allocation. There are ways to kind of bug it and store everything in the ship, which I do, but it just seems strangely relevant for the studio now. So nice smell. I'm gonna put that to use. And a bit more artwork at the back as well. A lovely notebook. I forgot I should probably put that screw back in the microscope. So yeah, maybe this was a bit of a failure, but that's how it is. I will look into other microscopes and then see what can be done about this one. If I do get a new microscope and then I will feel more confident about ripping this one apart, then remember what I said in a previous video about making a microscope of my own to put on the robot arm? Maybe if I just saw this one apart, like literally just saw it, strip away the bed, maybe keep the light there, or make sure the light is still attached by cable but have it maybe retractable, take the structure as it is and then stick that onto the robot arm with our camera attached. If I kind of elevate the pole above it, then maybe rather than making it from scratch, I can mod this microscope into the robot one. What's that going to cost? It's going to cost me at least £400, something like that. For a replacement low-grade microscope, go high grade, it's going to be more expensive. Anywhere between £400 and £2,000 or something like that. It'd be higher if we go crazy. So I don't know if I'll do that yet. Maybe I'll make a bit more money first. All right, not every video can be a success. I'll see you next time. Leave some kind of medical or microbial emoji in the comments. Ciao.